We've all heard the stories of lost civilizations, ancient gods, and the secrets buried beneath our feet. But what if some of those myths weren't myths at all? Because scattered across this planet are artifacts that defy every timeline we've built. Objects carved in ways we can't replicate. Made with materials we shouldn't have had. Things that force one impossible question. Did someone come before us? Or were we never alone to begin with? These are 6 real artifacts that science still can't explain. In 1940, deep within the Himalayan foothills of Nepal, a group of explorers stumbled upon something small, but world-shattering. A smooth stone disc, perfectly circular, engraved with swirling patterns that spiral toward the center. At first glance, it looked like ancient art, but the more researchers studied it, the stranger it became. Because among those spirals was something that shouldn't exist. Tiny figures, thin, long-limbed, with large, slanted eyes. And beside them, a disc-shaped object hovering above the ground. They called it the Lolladoff plate. Archaeologists dated it to more than 12,000 years old, long before any known civilization existed in the Himalayas. And yet, its design looks eerily familiar, almost too familiar. Some believe it depicts a meeting between humans and beings from the sky, visitors who descended in flying discs. Others dismiss it as coincidence. But ancient Himalayan cave paintings show the same figures, the same disc shapes over and over again. So if it's coincidence, why does the same image appear across thousands of miles and thousands of years? And why did a Stone Age culture carve perfect saucers before the wheel was even invented? Hidden in the ruins of Mayan temples, archaeologists have unearthed something that doesn't belong in the past. Small, crystal-clear discs, perfectly polished, smooth on both sides. They weren't ornaments, they weren't jewelry. When held to light, they bend and focus it like magnifying lenses. Except here's the impossible part. They're optically precise, perfect to the point of modern engineering. When scientists studied them under modern instruments, they found symmetrical curvature accurate to fractions of a millimeter. Something that would have required advanced tools the Mayans weren't supposed to have. And these weren't isolated finds. Similar lenses have been discovered across several sites, all made from the same kind of quartz crystal, all shaped with the same impossible skill. Some researchers think they were used to start ritual fires by concentrating sunlight. Others believe they were tools of astronomy, lenses to study the heavens. But no one can explain how an ancient culture with no metal tools, no glassmaking, and no optics theory managed to create something this advanced. Because if these lenses are truly what they appear to be, they change everything we know about ancient science. And they suggest one thing that no scholar wants to admit. Somewhere, somehow, someone taught them. In the early 1990s, a team of Russian geologists was examining an ancient layer of rock near Moscow when one of them noticed something that made no sense. Embedded in the stone was a perfect spiral. Not a fossil, not a crack, a screw. When the rock was tested, the shock was immediate. It was over 300 million years old. That's hundreds of millions of years before the first human even existed. X-ray scans confirmed it. The object wasn't glued in, planted, or tampered with. It was fused into the rock itself, as if the stone had formed around it. And this wasn't a simple twist or fossil imprint. The spiral had uniform threading, the kind you'd find in a machine-made bolt. The same pattern engineers still use today. Scientists tried to write it off as a natural formation, a type of sea creature fossil called a crinoid. But crinoids don't have perfectly straight, metallic cores. And they definitely don't have threads cut into them. So what was it? A tool? A fragment of something larger? And the bigger question, if it's man-made, who built it? Because if someone was making screws 300 million years ago, that means our timeline isn't just off, it's shattered. In the ancient texts of the Hebrews, there's a legend of a tool unlike anything else. A mysterious object used by King Solomon to cut the stones of the Great Temple. Not with hammer or chisel, but with energy. They called it the Shamir Stone. The Shamir could supposedly split granite like butter, carve solid rock with no heat, no noise, no marks. According to the stories, Solomon refused to use metal tools in building the temple because metal was unclean, so he used something else, something alive. Some versions describe the Shamir as a worm, a living creature that emitted a strange radiance capable of slicing stone. Others believe it was not alive but a device, a fragment of technology far beyond its time. An ancient form of energy beam, or a crystalline tool that vibrated rock apart at the atomic level. Archaeologists have found massive temple stones from that same era, so precisely shaped, you can't slide a blade between them. Yet they bear no tool marks, no chisel lines, no abrasions. Whatever it was, it vanished after the temple was built. In the 1800s, in a quarry near Kingoodie, Scotland, workers were splitting open a block of sandstone when their tools struck something hard. When the rock cracked open, they froze. Inside the solid stone, millions of years old, was an iron nail. Its head was clearly visible, its shaft embedded deep within the rock. There were no seams, no way it could have been placed there afterward. It was sealed, fossilized, trapped inside since the stone formed. Experts examined it, puzzled. The sandstone was ancient, from a time when humans didn't exist. So how could a forged iron nail be there? Some said it was contamination. Others said it was a hoax. But metallurgical tests confirmed the nail was made of hand-forged iron, the kind used in early human tools. Except this nail existed in a geological layer that predates humanity itself, as if something or someone had left it behind long before we arrived. To this day, the nail remains one of the strangest out-of-place artifacts ever discovered. And no one can agree on one simple question: if it's real, who dropped it there? In the mid-1800s, workers at a quarry in Kingoodie, Scotland, were cutting through sandstone blocks when one of them noticed something strange. Inside the solid rock, sealed away from air and light, was a piece of corroded metal. It looked like the head of a hammer, but it was trapped inside stone that should have been millions of years old. Geologist David Brewster was called to examine it. He confirmed that the sandstone surrounding the hammer wasn't recent. It had hardened long before the first humans were believed to exist. And yet, the object inside it wasn't a natural formation. It was forged iron, shaped by heat and molded by hand. That discovery didn't make sense. If the dating of the rock was correct, then the hammerhead existed long before humans. But if the hammer was modern, how did it end up completely encased in ancient stone? Some suggested the rock had formed around the object more recently, or that the hammer had somehow sunk into soft sediment. But the evidence didn't match those theories. The corrosion on the iron perfectly matched the age of the stone around it, meaning both had weathered together over a long period of time.